Hello, and welcome to another episode of Moms Unboxed. How y'all ladies doing this week? I want to hear from you. Connect with me at Moms Unboxed on Instagram. I hope that you're having an amazing week, and if you're not, I trust that it'll turn around for you. I am bringing in a 4-part series on healing from toxic relationships. So if you know someone who has been in a toxic relationship, please send them this episode because today is a key component to what women need to do in order to heal from the toxic relationship and the trauma that it brought. So settle in, ladies. This is going to be a deep episode. In fact, the next 4 weeks are going to be deep creative work so that you can also use the wisdom and the tools that I speak to help you also heal. You and your friends, we can heal together, right? All women as a collective need to be healing together. We need to be rising and standing strong and within our power so that we can create fucking change for this world and our babies and the generations to come, because I do feel right now the energy is building, okay? And women are creating a movement. It is time for us to rise. It is time to claim our independence and our authenticity in order to create greater change for ourselves and the world. So that's why we're starting. I'm feeling very called to speak to healing on a greater, deeper level. And we start with awareness as being the first key component, because we cannot heal what we cannot see. Right now in the self-love journey on Moms Unboxed Telegram, I am speaking to women about their bodies. And our bodies carry trauma. What our brain might tune out, our body remembers. And our brain tunes out some of these core traumatic memories in order to protect ourselves. But then we are hit with triggers, and suddenly we get angry or upset or sad because the trigger set us off, but we don't understand why were we triggered. What was the antecedent that created this emotional response? And we have first an emotional response because our body remembers the trauma that has occurred. So when it comes to being in a toxic relationship with a fucking terrible person, our body remembers the gaslighting, the manipulation, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse. And if this was more frequent in your life, your mind also remembers. You recall the memories of the person, how you were treated, what experience you went through to create such a traumatic experience. And it's important that we move through the first key of healing with a lens of compassion. What you experienced was not your fault. Your emotions, your feelings are validated here. You're not alone in this. And if you are needing further assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I want to preface this with, you're safe to feel your emotions. If you choose to go down this journey with me over the next 4 weeks, I want you to keep in mind that emotions arise from these conversations are real, they're validated, they are a response to the experience that you've had. And if you feel the need to express yourself, please ensure that they're in healthy ways, whether it's journaling, turning to art, somatic work, expressive work. Do it in a space where you feel supported. And again, if you need someone to talk to, please connect with me on Moms Unboxed. I am here. With that said, the first key to healing is awareness. Simply acknowledging that you've been treated poorly is the first step of acknowledging the trauma within. It's acknowledging that, yes, you were in a toxic relationship with a really shitty person. When women resist, they lie to themselves, they bury their trauma, they don't heal. And they continue to perpetuate the same toxic cycles. They attract the same shitty men. And we have to be very mindful that we are not attracting the same situations that we came from. We want to break the cycle. We want healthy relationships. We want healthy partners. We want a relationship that's loving and supportive and emotionally safe. And part of being in a healthy relationship is becoming healthy yourself. So when we arrive to the trauma, to the emotions and feelings that we are experiencing, we do so with grace. This isn't a time or space for you to criticize yourself, to double down on how you feel shameful or guilty. When we arrive with gentle awareness, we are simply acknowledging the experience that we've had. And you simply want to notice what the experience feels like in your body. Perhaps your heart aches, your chest feels tight, your throat feels closed, you have aching in your gut, your neck and your shoulders are filled with sore muscles and pain. Although we might be processing the experience that we've been in, like we know it on a cognitive level, right? Yes, I was in a toxic relationship. Many of us can say that. But do you go deeper? Do you seek to understand the sensations and the messages that are coming from your body? Why is it you have gut ache or shoulder pain? And I'll give you a really great example. When I was in a very toxic relationship, I've had a couple myself, unfortunately, my body broke out in motherfucking hives. Literally. I was like covered in hives and I dropped to 100 pounds. Your body is a temple. It is filled with so much wisdom. And it will speak to you when our body acknowledges what our heart will not. It speaks through illnesses, pain, weight loss, weight gain. Our body tells us that what we are experiencing is not in alignment to what we want, what we desire in our life, what is not healthy for us, what is unwholesome for us. Our body has a way of knocking us the fuck down sometimes. And there are women out there who end up in hospital beds because of the stress, the overwhelm, the tolerating the toxic relationship, or we turn to other habits like alcohol and drug use in order to cope. And when I was in this toxic relationship, I was trying to go to the doctor to figure out like what was wrong with me. And they're like, we don't really know. We don't have an explanation. But deep down, I knew that it was because of this person that I was now chained to, that I could not easily leave. It was because of that situation where I dropped to 100 pounds and was covered in body hives. But I didn't want to admit it to myself. I didn't want to believe that this person was actually the cause of my demise. And when we enter this state of awareness, we also have to acknowledge, we have to be truthful with ourselves. We have to stop lying about our current situation or the situation that we've been in. And it sucks when you love someone, you have this hope and belief that a relationship will shift and this person is going to change and they love me and they said that they're going to do better, and they feed you all these lies in order for you to stick around, and we gobble it up. We have to be honest with ourselves in order to heal and transform. We have to actually face the facts. We have to face what we are witnessing. There are people who are really good at saying one thing and doing another, and my dad always said actions speak louder than words. And I've grown up to know that to be true. The person that I was with was a functioning alcoholic who constantly told me he was going to quit, and instead of quitting, he just hid his half-gallon of vodka and told me he wasn't drinking, but obviously I could smell the alcohol on his breath. And the way he treated me never changed. So every time I threatened to leave, he would just say something worse for me to stay. And people have a way of being very manipulative. We have to learn to choose ourselves. And when we choose to heal, that is choosing ourselves. And yes, that means leaving that toxic person behind. We have to be in alignment with what is healthy for us, what is best. And if you have children, even more so, what is best for your children? And that's having a healthy mother, a mother who is strong and radiant, who makes the right choice, even if it's a hard one. So when we step into this vessel of awareness, it's acknowledging, where do we need to heal? What does it feel like in my body? The emotions, the sensations, just noticing where the trauma is in the body. Awareness is being honest with yourself. Are you still in a toxic relationship? Are you still being triggered by the toxic relationship? We do this from a lens of compassion. Like I said, we're not judging ourselves. We're not criticizing ourselves. We're not doing this awareness work to double down on our shame or our guilt. And sure, those emotions are very real and present. And where do we notice those emotions in the body? Awareness is power. It creates momentum for greater change and healing. It's an awakening to what is and what could be. And we use this awareness to create a brighter path for ourselves. Awareness is the light in the dark, and we first must become aware of the self, the trauma, the toxicity, even the toxic traits within us, because you don't leave a toxic relationship without being toxic yourself. I'm sorry. It doesn't happen. Whether it's our own defenses, the way we speak, the way we defend ourselves, the way we fight or run away from situations. There are things that we carry from that toxic relationship that will affect a healthy one. And so it's so important to understand what within you is toxic, residual shit from the relationship that we've just come out of. When I left my toxic relationship, I was so disconnected from myself. And that disconnection bled into my marriage, my children. I disassociated. I wasn't affectionate. I didn't communicate well. I was mean. I was defensive. I was a lot of fucking things until I realized that in order for me to have a healthy relationship, to be a healthy mother, I had to take a hard fucking look about who I was and who I was being. And I had to ask myself, is this the person that I want to be? Is this the kind of mom that I want to be to my children? Or the type of partner I want to be? And I changed. Little by little, healing uncovers deeper layers. And I released so much about from the previous person that I was. Sure, she is still within me. Her and I have a ongoing healing relationship, but I'm nowhere near the person that I used to be because I became aware of all of me. I've been brutally, radically honest with who I am so that I can transform and evolve to create a better life for myself and my children. I didn't want to be the person who was constantly filled with trauma or toxic traits. Healing is possible. Transformation is possible. But we have to choose that for ourselves, for the betterment of our children, our family members, our partner. So this week, if you want to dive deeper into this work, if you want to build awareness and start discovering more about yourself and how you've been affected by this toxic relationship, I encourage you to journal some questions. When have I been triggered? And what does this feel like in my body? What does trauma feel like in my body from this toxic relationship? And where does this trauma still show up in my life? And where can I soften into my body when I feel these emotions and these feelings arise? Can I just be with it? And one tool that I like to use when I'm doing this inner awareness work, when I feel these emotions arise in my body, I just name it. I name it for what it is. Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it shame, resentment, bitterness, guilt? And you'll notice when you acknowledge the emotion that is in the body, how it starts automatically softening. A lot of what we experience in our body just wants to be acknowledged, to be seen with tenderness, to be held. So when you are doing this work, remember to be compassionate with yourself, to hold yourself with love. If you are looking for someone to help you navigate the inner workings of your trauma, I am here and I am available to you. I am trauma informed and have worked with many people who have experienced trauma in their life. You are not alone. Thank you so much for joining me this week for part 1 of healing from a toxic relationship and really witnessing yourself through this experience is advantageous of you. You are an amazing woman. You are strong. You are tenacious. You are valued and you are loved. That's all I have for you this week. If you know a mama or another woman that would really utilize this deepening awareness, send them this episode. And if you're looking for more integrated work, join the Moms Unboxed Telegram space, where we are on a self-love journey right now, talking about the body and building that deeper awareness so that we can have a connection with ourselves, so that we can heal, grow, and evolve. Don't forget to live a liberated, sensual, and unboxed life. Until the next time.